Hi, everyone. This is Tim Knight, CEO of Catholic Charities, San Bernardino, Riverside counties. Today, I'm really excited for another episode of Community in Focus. We're here with Supervisor Joe Baca. Supervisor, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Thank you for having us. And it's an honor to be here at Catholic Charities. So thank you for the time.
We're going to have a lot of fun, everyone. We're just joking a little bit that I'm a deer in headlights and the supervisor is going to rescue me actually during this podcast. But let's have some fun and get to know about the supervisor a little more. Supervisor Baca, tell us about when you were growing up.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I was born in Barstow, California.
Okay.
Baptized in Barstow. My father was kind of moving around, so we eventually settled in Rialto, California. Was raised in the community, went to public school there, went to elementary, junior high, and when they had junior highs, high school. And then after that, graduated from high school, went to local community college, went right here in San Bernardino Valley College. I tell people I have odd jobs in college. I delivered pizzas. I tell people I delivered drugs, prescription drugs.
Yeah.
But, you just had odd jobs. My parents didn't have a lot of money at the time, but you did whatever you could to get through college. And then shortly after that, I had a small stint in the private sector and then worked in the Department of Corrections.
And so before we go there, so going back to your dad, you said he moved around a bit. What was his career?
Well, he was in public affairs with GTE.
Oh, no kidding.
Now Verizon.
Right.
So he was commuting from Rialto to Santa Monica.
Yeah.
But then eventually he ran for public office. He was elected to the local community college here. And then he eventually became a state assemblyman, state senator, and then became a U.S. congressman.
Wow, that is phenomenal. So here's your dad at GTE Wireless and commuting. We know this is there's lots of commuting going on in this area of the Inland Empire, anyways, traffic wise and such. And so then your dad starts to get out there. I wonder, do you know what inspired him to go to public office?
He was very active in the community. So when he was working with GTE, he was in public affairs. He was very active, attended a lot of community events. And then eventually he got recruited by local community college board members to run for public office. He never thought about running for public office, but he has always been a fighter, a competitor. He was very active in student government when he was in high school. So, he became a U.S. congressman. He's got a great story to tell. He goes from being a janitor to a congressman, and I'm very, very proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
Very proud of the great things he's done. He's always had compassion for people.
And you got to watch, from a mentoring standpoint, you got to watch all this unfold.
I did. And then growing up, it was interesting because I had no interest in politics, didn't want anything to do with it. And one of the challenges growing up, it's just, your father's famous and active in the community, he's a local hero. And it was tough. It's tough sometimes because the pressure, like, hey, are you going to be like your father? Are you going to do the things your father done? So you had to deal with some of that growing up.
Sure. And what about mom? She's in the mix too. It takes the whole family to be serving the community like that.
Yeah, the great thing about my mom is she was a substitute teacher when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
She helped out a lot at home, but she was like the rock because my dad was just so busy. So it was just at that time it was me and my younger brother, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
She would take care of us and we'd spend a lot of time together while my father was active out and about in the community. But the great thing about my father, he always made family time. So whether it was family trips, trip to Big Bear, going to New Mexico to visit my grandparents, family was just so important and critical to my father.
I'm seeing a lot of connections here. Did you also play sports in high school?
I did.
School itself?
So I played 1 year of high school basketball. I played baseball all the way through high school and got the opportunity to play baseball in college, 1 year junior college and 3 years at Cal State San Bernardino.
So, I'm kind of rushing this, but Valley College, what a great institution.
It was a great experience from us. And I always encourage people, there's nothing wrong with going to community college or junior college, especially with the price of school today.
Hmm.
It's a great alternative. And for me, my parents couldn't afford to pay for a university. So it was a good alternative for me.
They've got an innovation. They've got a new innovation building, I believe. Right now, they've got a nursing program. They're doing some really good stuff over there at that community college and other ones too. So we're excited about it with our career advisory because that's something for us. And they're doing such great work. We just have to connect with the folks, the local folks, and find out what they're looking for, and then connect them over to some of these community colleges and get them enrolled. So that's pretty fantastic. Um, so you're in school, you're in high school. Were you in community groups, or when did you get passionate about community work?
Probably not till a little bit later in life. When I graduated, I had several career changes. I started in the private sector, shortly was a beer salesman, and then eventually went in Department of Corrections. And when I was in corrections, I seen some sad things inside the institution. I says, you know what, there's more I can do to help people.
Mm-hmm.
So I eventually came to work for the county of San Bernardino as a probation officer. And I did that for almost 7 years. Most of my time was as a juvenile probation officer, did parenting classes, did outreach classes, anger management, and realized there's a lot of need out there. People need a lot of assistance. And then shortly after that, I worked in adult probation, and I said, I'm not sure if I want to do this. I had a friend who recruited me to become a public school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went and became a public school teacher in the Colton Joint Unified School District for a couple years, and then ran for the state legislature. I lost. Then I came back and ran for city council. And during that time, I became a public school teacher in the Rialto Unified School District for 13 years. And it was just a great experience. I learned a lot from the kids, and I probably learned more from the kids than anything else.
I love when I was reading your bio. I mean, I see all the tie-ins with your father's service, and you're talking about mom and the teaching education. And I'm reading your bio, and I'm like, wow, you have great perspective on youth for sure, with probation, being in probation. And you're right, there is a huge need in the Inland Empire. I'm from San Diego. I was telling our CO, Jesse, this morning that now I've got 1 year in the Inland Empire, but I don't understand the Inland Empire yet. It takes a long time to really wrap your arms around all the diverse area from, Coachella Valley, the high desert, low desert, all of these things, and the great need in the community as well. So probation officer is a very tough job. You've got youth who need support to, have some success, so to speak.
Yeah, no, that's important. So I think my life experience as a probation officer and teacher has given me a different outlook, and realize that, look, I've been very fortunate in my life. My parents were there, but some people don't have that support at home.
Mm-hmm.
And people struggle, and people have a difficult time. And sometimes they just need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of support, sometimes a little bit of pushing and nudging to get in a better place. And when I give a lot of speeches to classes and kids, I says, look, this is about creating a better life for you and your families.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being independently wealthy. We all want money. We all want wealth, but it's really about being able to put a roof over your head, being able to take care of your families, have a little bit of leisure time. And that's the great thing about the Inland Empire. We're made up of working families. We're not a wealthy community, but a lot of good people here, a lot of good people that care, and sometimes just need a little help, a little support, a little guidance. And I think there's a lot of great programs in our community. We got to continue to support those programs.
Right. And so, tell me about when did you get involved in softball coach or being a softball coach?
Actually, I was a big baseball guy growing up, and I coached softball because I was getting a little bored.
Okay.
I was a teacher, and I says, I wanted to coach. So the first time I interviewed for the job, I didn't get it. There was two of us that got interviewed. I didn't get the job. The second year, I tried again and ended up coaching, and it was a learning experience for me. It actually helped me become a better person, a better father, and I had to adjust to coaching, young ladies. It was just different than boys, and it made me a better person.
Did you ever get those advice from the parents on how you can coach better?
Yes, all the time. But I think every year I tried to improve and get better. And I think that's important. And that's a message to our community. It's like, look, you're never too old to learn and grow. And I felt that every year I coached, I tried to get better and better.
Mm-hmm. And so you've got this education coaching, you've got the background in the probation, and you said you ran for office and you didn't win that time, is what you referenced, and then you went to city council,
Yeah,
and that was for quite a few years, actually.
I did. I was on the city council for 14 years, and I
Hmm.
had one stint in between where I ran for state assembly. But,
Okay,
I mentioned losing, and losing is actually a humbling experience.
that's
And
what I wanted to learn about.
yeah, it makes you a better person. Makes you have to listen more, makes you have to pay attention. You have to recreate and rebuild yourself and realize, what can I do better? What can I do better to improve myself as an elected? And sometimes you go in with these good ideas and good intentions and realize, you know what? I didn't listen to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize, maybe I should probably listen. And I become a better listener as a result of it.
And that's the message you and I were talking about before the cameras went on. And for everyone listening now is listen, like you didn't get coached the first time, but you went the second time. And you have these scenarios where maybe you didn't get it the first time, but you're going to go after it again. And also, what I hear you saying is, you could be in a difficult situation, but there's always an opportunity to learn or grow, which is phenomenal. And it really ties into our programs. And we shouldn't forget all the other amazing nonprofits that are out there, not just Catholic Charities, but folks that are listening now, they can go to 211 Catholic Charities and a myriad of different other nonprofits and find programs and services that'll help elevate you, um, out of any situation, if you're on poverty or whatever your situation may be, to reach out.
No, I think that's a good point. And like you mentioned, there's a lot of nonprofits, especially here in the San Bernardino community that, they just do God's work. They care, they're committed, they want to see lives turn around, and there's just a lot of good people that care. And we appreciate the nonprofit work because I believe as a government agency, we cannot fix it all. We need support systems within the community to help bring people up.
It takes a village, and our goal is, we have that, give a man a fish and I'll eat for a day, and then teach him how to fish. And our goal is the whole village teaching others to fish is how we're looking at it when we look at government entities and the nonprofit sector, and also the for-profit that are out there to help. Our friends at San Manuel, they do a lot of good work.
Yeah, San Manuel's been a great partner, and they do a lot of charitable good givings, a lot of philanthropy within the community. And I'll give you an example. We had some discretionary money for the County Board of Supervisors. We put in $1 million to fix up a park. We got San Manuel to match the $1 million for Spiker
Hmm.
Park. And that's an example of partnerships. We didn't do it all. They didn't do it all. It was the city, the county, and San Manuel coming together to really improve our communities.
And I think it's so important that all these cities, when we look at, and I'm certainly not saying they don't, but Paris, Redlands, I was very fortunate to meet the mayor, a lot of mayors, a lot of different mayors. It's so important that we're not working in silos because they're all neighbors,
Yeah, no, you
right?
bring up a good point. And one of the things I believe our duty is at the County Board of Supervisors is to be regional leaders, to bring cities together, to bring communities together, to have conversations. For example, homelessness. Homelessness is an issue that's not, it doesn't have borders. People tend to move, and if we can take a regional approach to attack this, that becomes so critical. And having our city partners all participate makes it so much easier.
It does. And, the other thing that comes up is for me is you can go to a conference, you can talk about homelessness. We know it's an issue across the country. And I think yourself and myself and a lot of folks, even those folks watching now, we want results. We want to see change, whether it be homelessness or the other issues that we're looking at. As a newcomer to the Inland Empire, one of the things I recognize is a vast population, a diverse population, yet very limited resources. We don't have the same sort of revenue, say, example, LA or Orange County that's coming in. So I think it takes creative partnerships to make it come together.
No, you bring up a good point. We, as a government agency, we have to be good fiscal stewards. And I think LA has a lot more resources where they can spend money, and and if they make a mistake, we have to be a lot more thoughtful in our process. So I would give it up to our county governments, all our local governments here do a good job trying to be resourceful,
Mhm.
collaborate, and bring resources together, because we don't have large donors. We don't have the big donors that there are in the LA area, the Orange County area. So we have, to work collaboratively, and it's a little more challenging, but I think we do a good job here.
We had an exciting conversation this morning because our main programs and services, as you and I were discussing, counseling support. We're offering a Pathways to Citizenship program, legal aid, and workforce development is there. Hunger relief through Matthew's Harvest, and we've got some great initiatives happening. And then in access to healthcare through the support of the IHP Foundation as well. But there's so many other great nonprofits, so it's going to take us coming together. So our meeting this morning was who's going to be our natural partners, not just where we're at, but across the Inland Empire, given how vast it is. So we're excited about that. And on that note, for folks watching now, you can volunteer, you can get involved out there. You can go be a coach maybe of a team. That's a great way to get involved with the kids. But I'd say go to our website or go out there and look for places to volunteer in the community, be a part of it. It's not always monetary donations.
Yeah, and that's usually the advice I try to give young kids. I says, look, if you have some success, you can come back and give back. And giving back doesn't mean giving, like I said, monetary. You could be a mentor. You could give advice. I try to do it all the time. Me being a local product, I says, look, I'm no different than any one of you. It could have been this much of a difference in my life, and I may not have been here. It doesn't take much. It takes that one little opportunity, that one little break, or that one little bit of persistence. And I think people don't realize that you're not the only one in that position. A lot of people, small things change people's lives,
They do.
tremendously.
Just even, I think, giving an ear, being there to listen and support someone. Aside from your father, do you have an idea? Do you have a mentor or someone you'd name that really helped you along the way through those challenging, tough times?
My wife.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would say my wife. She's been a good support system when it comes to having a soundboard, always supporting me, because when you're in a political world, people don't realize that you are human. You do have emotions. You do get your feelings hurt. And sometimes you want to help everybody, and sometimes you have to say no. And sometimes, it's challenging. As a matter of fact, I was at a Catholic service, and Father Pavol at St. Anthony's goes, sometimes God says no. Doesn't want to, but sometimes it becomes a learning experience for you.
Right. I was just talking to a friend of mine today that we learn lessons. We're going through trials and tribulations, and sometimes it's a test, or sometimes it's something you're being taught through God. And I believe you're attending St. Catherine's, I believe.
I am a parishioner at St. Catherine's. Me and my wife were married there 23 years ago. And you know what? Your faith, I think faith is important in this country. Sometimes faith will get us through. There's going to be, like you said, trying times. We're going to have bad moments, which is human. That's part of human nature, but it's how we deal with those moments and get through them. And then for me as a public official, I have to realize, why am I here? I believe I'm here to help others, and I can't solve every problem or help everybody, but I can do the best I can while I'm here.
I love that. And even since around the time of the pandemic, I was always saying, you can point fingers at people, you can look at elected officials or various people around you, but what's most important is how you're treating your neighbors, how you're showing up as a person. So I really look at, the various roles out there, and just hoping that anyone watching today, if you're in a moment of crisis or need, that you can reach out to 211 Catholic Charities, another nonprofit, and or if you're in a time when you can reach out and do something good, even if it's holding the door for someone.
Yeah, it's a small act of kindness, even a smile.
Right.
Sometimes you smile at someone, showing kindness. And I was just having a conversation with one of my staff where they went to go visit a foreign country, and they said, man, people are so nice there.
Right.
Sometimes in the United States, we get so uptight, we get angry. Our expectations are high of government. We expect government to solve all our problems. And I think one of the things I believe in just me personally, is just personal responsibility. We can't control everything, but there's certain things we have control over. We have control over our emotions. We have control over what we can and do. Like you mentioned, helping somebody, whether it's donating, some canned food to the church or to any organization. Those are small little things we can do. Is it going to solve hunger? No. Is it going to solve poverty? No, but it's just doing our small little part.
So let's, if you don't mind, if we can talk about smiles for a second. first off, on full disclosure, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, a little bit of pain today, so I'm not smiling, but I love to smile. So going back to smiles, and I usually never bring this up, but there's a lot of division in the country now. And, it's, I think we're so focused on this side, that side, or this thing, or this issue, when ultimately we need to set that all down. And I don't think it's as divided as, and I'd love your perspective. I don't think it's divided between you and your colleagues or other folks as we think it is.
Yeah, that's a great thing about being on the county board of supervisors or any nonpartisan seat. You just help people. You don't ask their political affiliation. You just help them. We try to help people, and I think probably 80% of our country is probably on the same page. I think they all want safe neighborhoods, good schools, good communities to raise the family. That doesn't change amongst people. Now, there's certain social issues that people may be, have difference of opinions. But I think all in all, we want to raise our families in a good place. We want to be happy. And I think sometimes extremism becomes a problem. But I think at the end of the day, there's enough room for everybody. No matter what side of the spectrum you're on, everybody can succeed in this country. I mean, we have a beautiful country, and I think there's good opportunities here.
I mean, I'm a patriot. I love this country. And just since we're talking about that, Catholic Charities serves everyone in the community. You do not have to be Catholic to participate in our programs and services. We're open to all and serving everyone in the entire Inland Empire, of course, with our natural partners, with the support of folks like the San Manuel Foundation, the IHP Foundation, Kaiser Permanente, all those great partners and officials like yourself that really step up to make a difference for everyone. So really, really grateful. You've already said a little bit about it, but what sort of guidance would you give someone who's in a time of need right now, be it a kid or an adult that's having a tough time?
Hopefully they have prayer in their life. Hopefully they can pray, but just to continue to be positive, continue to stay positive, continue to be resilient. And there's people out here that want to help you. There's people out here that want to give you guidance. Have an open mind. And if there's something you're interested, go after it. It may be a struggle, maybe a grind, but you can get out of it. You can achieve many things. I've seen good stories of students or people in poverty that have turned things around in our community. As a public school teacher, I've seen students that have struggled, but they've been able to have success and have a better life for their families. I think we have to teach resiliency and just not giving up on yourself or your family, because there's people counting on you.
You said, I love it. So, one thing I like to talk about is we tend to have this buzzword of anxiety that people say, I feel anxious, I feel anxiety. I'd like us to start to focus on resiliency, being resilient. But the second thing that you said, what I love, is go for it. And there's this paradigm that if I do this thing, I might fail. And the irony is, if you don't do this thing, you might fail. So that at the end of the day, the paradigm shift is just go for it.
Yeah, now you bring up a good point. And one of the things that I would see is confidence. And sometimes people lack confidence, they're afraid to fail. And even my own self, I had my doubts. So I don't want people to think that, hey, I was always a confident person, because I wasn't. I was shy and quiet. And you have to let people know they belong there. Don't be intimidated. And you know what? You believe in yourself. There's other people that you get intimidated by. I tell students, look, just because they use big words doesn't mean they're any smarter than you. Doesn't mean they're any more intelligent than you. Your IQ is just as high as them. It's just you may have to work a little harder in other areas, but you can do it.
I feel like you're talking to me when you say that. I really struggled in school. So I struggled in school and had so many challenges, and I always kept thinking, push harder, and fortunately I did have some loving mentors in my life, but I had those tough moments where I did feel maybe not, I mean, literally in second grade, I was sat backwards as a teacher. I was sat backwards in the middle of the classroom. It was not a good moment for me. I won't say the teacher's name, but, everything, like you said, is a lesson. And I just love this opportunity of moving forward and going up. So if you guys are listening now, please, remember this, is that, Supervisor Baca is telling you and telling all of us, when you're in that challenging moment, you've got prayer, you got support, people around you, and keep going. Give it a second chance. That's fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Really, really fantastic. Any other words of wisdom or advice? You brought up your lovely spouse. You have kids, I believe, too.
I have 3 kids. I have 4 grandchildren. I just think,
It's
the word
fantastic.
the
Fantastic.
word of advice is, remember, to families out there, there's people counting on you. There's
Mhm.
people that need you. And I know sometimes people want to give up and quit. It's like, no, no, no. There's people counting on you. There's people that care about you. And sometimes we feel we're alone,
Mhm.
and people don't care. People are upset. It's like, no, people do care. People check on you. People will call you. People will text you. Sometimes just a text, check-in calls, maybe calling someone that you haven't called in a while, bring your spirits up. And I think that has to be, a message to everybody.
And and add some laughter. I get these phone calls from my friends, and they just leave me a voicemail that's kind of funny, or a little text joke or something to brighten my day. But I love what you said. Sometimes someone comes to mind, and I just say, "Hey, it's my time to reach out to them."
Yeah,
A
like
little
for
signal.
For us, we're in politics, we're in, the public setting, but sometimes I'll call my friends that are non-political just to have a regular conversation. I think people forget that
Mhm.
sometimes.
Mhm. And the kids, 3 amazing kids. I mean, that gives you purpose, and we can't forget having a purpose in life for sure.
Yeah, no, I think
So,
a lot of times people's kids are their legacy.
right. Right. Well, certainly for your dad, I mean, wow, you followed somewhat in his footsteps with a life of service. I really loved your bio. I mean, everything from probation officer to education and coach, and then moving over into the politics side of things, the public service. That's fantastic. And you continue that service in and out of your role as well.
Yeah, it's a
Fantastic.
blessing, and I don't take it for granted. It's really an honor when people vote for you or support you, believe in what you're doing. And when you get compliments from people in the community, I mean, it's not an ego thing. It's really just makes you feel good about what you do.
Hmm.
And you're never going to make everybody happy. Not everyone's going to agree with your position or stance, but you have to remember why you're here. And I think that's a good reminder.
So everyone, thank you for joining us today. We got a little chance here with Supervisor Joe Baca to learn a little bit about him and some of his ideas and thoughts about forward thinking and opportunities, keeping your head up and staying strong in moments of strife. And just want to thank you for watching today. Please like and share this with the community, and also with Catholic Charities. If you want to learn more about us, please go to our website. And also, we have another challenge in October. It's called walkwithme25.org. Real excited about it. It's 25 miles. We're asking you to walk 25 miles in the month of October. I have some friends that'll walk that in a day. I'm saying 25 miles in the month of October, and you ask 5 people to walk with you. So walkwithme25.org will be the website where you can go and sign up to support our programs and services. And thank you once again, Supervisor Baca, for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Tim, and the great work that the diocese does with Catholic Charities.
Thank you all.